Crypto Astrology update for February, March 2025. There's so much craziness in the markets right now with rug pulls and heists, and people are concerned about a upcoming lunar eclipse that is on people's mind. What is it going to do to the market? All of these things we are going to look at in this video as we do the download and the deep dive into the astrology, into the cosmic cycles, and how they correlate and correspond with the financial markets, specifically the crypto markets, so you know how to navigate them better. Let's go. All right, it's time for another crypto astrology update. In this video, we are going to do a few things. We're going to look at where we are right now, what's happening in this crazy part of the cycle with all of these things going on, the rug pulls and the heist that just happened, and all of the, sideway motion that's going on. Why is this happening? Where are we? What's going on in this market? Number two, we're going to look at where we're going to next. We're going to have our best forecast and prognosis of what to expect. And three, we're going to really look deeply at the lunar eclipse that's coming up in March, which a lot of people are talking about, a lot of people are concerned about, and we're going to understand what to expect from this event. And I'm going to bring all the receipts for you. You're going to learn about the real financial cycle theories and financial astrology perspectives on eclipses. So make sure to watch this video till the end. Let's go. Now, before I start with this, before I get into all of this, I'm going to address one thing. I'm going to address what happened with my previous predictions, because you're going to say, Dr. V, didn't you just come and say, February is going to be super bullish? I did. I made a video, and I said my previous crypto video, I said February was going to be extremely bullish, right? So on the face of it, you could say now, you'd be you wouldn't be wrong to come and say, on the face of it, you wouldn't be wrong to come and say like, yo, you broke your streak of predictions, right? Because we had a long streak of predictions starting from last year, March, when we started, and we were just calling everything as it happened. You could say, now, didn't you break this streak? What happened? What happened, right? But, well, that's only the appearance. Because what did we actually say? We said here on this channel that February was going to be extremely bullish. There was going to be extremely bullish news. If you go back, listen to the video, I said there was going to be so much bullish news because of that, that new moon, the Aquarius new moon, which has Satoshi and so on and so forth. Lots of, like a super bullish constellation for crypto. And lo and behold, what actually happened is that it was, there was tons of bullish news. There was tons of bullish news. In fact, actually, I went and I checked this, right? Because I couldn't believe as well, just like you were in the same boat, I couldn't believe why the markets are not moving. Why were they not moving, right? Why was the market just kind of going sideways? And actually, alts went down a lot with every negative news. But, it doesn't really negate the fact that it was an extremely bullish market, because I went and I checked this and I just asked Grok 3 here, tell me the most bullish, the months with the most bullish news by news volume in descending order ever in crypto, right? And you see here, February 2025, there was the most bullish news ever, right? It's just even more than October 2021, the height of the previous bull market. And then you have November 24, just after Trump coming to power, December 2017, the height of the 2017 bull market, right? So you can see this here very clearly. This was literally the most bullish month ever, just in terms of news, right? We had SEC kind of laying low, saying, okay, I will not pursue anybody anymore, right? Just everybody can do what they want in crypto. Executive orders for crypto. Half of the states in the US are now considering having a strategic Bitcoin reserve, strategic crypto reserve, right? Companies are starting to put Bitcoin on their balance sheets. So all of this is happening. And at the same time, I feel the pain with you. At the same time, the markets didn't budge. Markets didn't move, right? On the contrary, every time we had negative news, it was DeepSeek first, and then tariffs, right? Every time we had negative news, and then all these rug pulls. All the crazy rug pulls that happened, right? Every time we had negative moves, things went down, right? Things went down. So what actually happened? What happened, right? So okay. let's go into this, and you're gonna say, is that in astrology? And it is in astrology too. It is in astrology too. So what I told you here, it wasn't, in the previous video, it wasn't wrong, but it wasn't complete. It wasn't complete because I underestimated the power of another constellation that we had as well during this time, which actually, from last year I've been talking about it, but I underestimated its effect specifically now, and that's the fact that Uranus, the star, the planet, which most clearly corresponds with crypto, with innovation, crypto specifically, was all of this time and is all of this time on conjunct with Algol, right? You see this here. So all of this time right now, March, actually, it's gone recently, it's gone retrograde and standing here is kind of hovering here. So you have February, right? February, it's on 23. You can see this here. Uranus is here, right? Uranus is here. And 26 of Taurus is Algol, right? Algol is a fixed star, right? And it's known in astrology as the most malefic influence of any star. It's the most it's like the final end boss of the dark forces, right? If we have that in astrology, that's that level, that's that degree, right? 26 degree of Taurus. Now, don't worry if your sun is there or your moon or whatever. You don't necessarily, it all depends on, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily have to, be on that side, but it's going to play a role in your life. You will have to somehow deal with the darkness, right, in your life if you have anything at that degree, 25, 26 Taurus. Now, back to the crypto astrology. So, yes, this was the fact, and it is the fact still, that, and I said this actually in several videos that I did a long kind of breakdown of Bitcoin's history and of the whole cycle, which I'll link below, so you can check that too. There I said it, in several other videos last year I said it, that, okay, Uranus is going to be during this time on Algol. So for crypto, we should be expecting some negative stuff, right? Some malefic stuff. Malefic stuff. What is malefic? Malefic is a term in astrology. It just refers to the dark side, basically the ego, spiritually speaking, the ego, right, that wants to separate itself from everybody else, that is not for the benefit of all or for the benefit of spiritual and holistic evolution, but rather for the benefit of just your own cancerous growth against everybody else. That's ego in spiritual science, and that's malefic, right? So that type of energy, basically, enriching some very egotistic and egoistic players, enriching themselves against everybody else for the detriment of everybody else. That's malefic, and that's Algol, right? And that's what Uranus is on. So Uranus stands for crypto, right? As I've been showing and proving many times. And then, lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. Because during this time where we had the most bullish news ever, February, most bullish month ever by news volume, at the same time, we had all of these really malefic things happening. All of these really malefic things happening. So you want to say what? Number one, rug pulls. We had a series of rug pulls, right? So, it started with the Trump and Melania token, which, Trump wasn't himself involved that much. It was still a little bit more mild, but then there was so many others, right? Hawk Tuah token and CZ's dog, and Central African Republic had a token, and then the cherry, on top of it, the worst, the worst case of it all was Javier Milei's, right? Javier Milei's Libra, disaster, right? So they came out, I'm sure you saw this, right? They came out, they put out the token, they literally posted Milei, president of Argentina, right? The guy with the chainsaw and with the, afuera, right? The guy who's everybody's darling right now he's a libertarian, he wants to bring freedom and stuff, right? That guy, he's going and he's saying like, buy this token, literally he's going like, buy this token, like a second-hand car salesman, like buy this token. Everybody in Argentina is going to benefit, small businesses. The small businesses of Argentina will benefit if you buy this token, right? And 8 hours later, he deletes the token. The token goes up to $5 billion and they rug pull it. 90% they're down, the same couple of wallets, they sell it. And then it comes out, this guy, this is like gonna go into crypto lore, very, very strange character, Hayden Davis. I don't have his chart. I don't know his birth date. It would be interesting to look into, really interesting to look into. He comes out and he says that, he kind of completely, like an idiot, gives himself away. He's like, I did all of this, and I took the money, it's in my own account now and stuff. I didn't know they're going to do this and stuff.
Every single dollar I've managed to round up, which I believe is every single dollar that's been collected or from fees or farming or liquidate, anything, I've managed to get back. And my intention is to inject everything back into the Libra chart.
And he says that he and a couple of other people, they're like this group, and they orchestrated all of these rug pulls, just like they orchestrated a series of these. And he just tells the exact playbook, how they did it, right? So this is one thing. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy if you think about it. Like literally a group of people coming and like shitting all over the market, right? All over the market with the rug pulls, one after the other, right? And it brought down the market badly, really bad. This is a sign. This is really corresponding for what? For Uranus. Uranus stands for crypto on Algol. Actually, this really confirms my thesis that I have presented here many times, that Uranus governs everything to do with crypto, right? And that's not the only thing. There was so much more. Right? What else? The manipulation, right? You wanted the BlackRocks and the Vanguards in the game. They are in the game now, right? And if BlackRock wants to have Bitcoin under 100K, BlackRock will get Bitcoin under 100K for a long time, as long as they want, right? As long as they want, they're going to load up and buy and buy. And they're going to keep the ball down, right? And that's what's happening right now. Malefic influences, right? What else? Heist. There was a heist recently, like the largest single heist in history. Bybit got hacked into, right? All of these things are Uranus and Algol, and all of these things are happening at the same time right now as we have all of that super bullish news. So this is why, even though February was the most bullish month ever by news volume, nonetheless, market's been going sideways, alts have crashed. People are in fear. Fear index is very high right now. People are worried. They don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, big guys are not worried. Institutions are not worried. Wall Street is not worried. Wall Street is buying. Wall Street is buying and buying and buying and buying, while retail investors, like yourselves maybe, right, are worried, are concerned. They're worried. They're like, look, this is a big guy. This is like these big shots that are calling the shots here. What are they going to do? Are they going to bring the market down more? What are they going to do with the manipulation that's going on, right? People are worried. And now even some people are saying that, there's some people saying this is over, this is not going to recover and so on because of all of this negative news. So that's kind of a long way for me to state for you what happened and how it actually fits perfectly with the astrology, even though when I did my last prediction, I was carried away. I got to admit that I was carried away with the amount of bullishness that I could see in the charts. And even though it did happen, right, with the bullish news that came, it didn't really counteract the negative effects that we're all suffering from for the market. So now let's switch gears and let's go into what's coming next. Okay, what's going to happen next, right? Where are we going next? In order to answer this, we need to have a look at the charts. Obviously, we need to see what's coming. And there is one big thing that a lot of people are talking about, and it's an eclipse. It's the eclipse that's coming up in mid-March. And that eclipse, it falls on a specific point in the Bitcoin chart, which a lot of people are worried about, right? So let's talk about that, and let's have an idea of what are we going to see next. Okay, so in the coming weeks, right, we're out of this super enthusiastic phase that we had with all of the Aquarius energy. That's over now, right? Instead, now comes a very fishy time, right, with a lot of Pisces energy, and then, we're getting a lot of Aries at the same time. We're going to have 2 retrogrades of Mercury and Venus in Aries. So in this time, there's going to be a lot of fiery drive to make things happen, right? At the same time, there's going to be a very dreamy nature to that too. Super dreamy, right? Fiery, why? Because we have also the Sun, Mars trine here, right? And all of these fire planets. So, okay, there's going to be a lot of shit happening, right? People's like making moves, right? There will be people making moves, but it will all have a very dreamy nature, very unclear, confused nature as well. So we're going into a time of much more confusion now, even, for the markets too. So get ready for a prolonged period where there is confusion in the markets, where we don't know, right? So what happens if you put these elements together that I just said, right? There's going to be people making fiery moves, which means bulls attacking, and on the flip side, bears attacking, right? They're going to go for it, and they're going to have super high leverage, both sides, right? They're going to go, they're going to go for it. They're going to attack, right, to take over. But with that Pisces energy, with a lot of Pisces energy that we're seeing, I don't expect any type of resolution for the coming time. It's just going to be like, oh, market's going up. No, market's going down. Oh, it's going up. No, it's going down. No, we're going to be stuck in that loop for quite some time, right? Get ready for that. Get ready for being, unless you're a very good kind of day trader, or if you're like a range trader, if you know how to trade that range that we're in right now, you should just, sit low, do nothing. Right? Sit low and do nothing. None of this is financial advice. Anything that I'm giving you here in this video is not financial advice. It is shared with you for entertainment and education purposes only. But I'm sharing with you what I'm doing, basically, right? So, and then to have a community for the community. I'd love to hear from you guys what you're doing. Let me know in the comments. Actually, like the video, comment. Comments are super important for the algorithm, as you know. So it's much, much appreciated. But also to get insights, get collective intelligence. Let me know in the comments, what are you doing? How are you playing this market, right? What are you feeling? Like, what alpha do you have? Because we create that for our little community here, and that amplifies everything we're doing. So it's super appreciated, right? So apart from that, what else we got? We have here a, during this time, your Saturn is starting to go. I always look at Uranus. Right? And Saturn is starting to go into a sextile with Uranus, okay? Now, this is very positive. This is very positive for crypto, right? This is very positive for crypto because, as you know, I've already shown it many times. I've shown it with all of the historical receipts as well. When we get positive aspects to Uranus, that's good for crypto. This is coming from Saturn, so there should be some, basically this means a couple of crypto innovations are going to become real in the coming time throughout all of the craziness and confusion and so on and so forth. That's a good thing. But then at this point we have see here like a day after, on March 14th, we have this eclipse, right? And this eclipse has got a lot of people worried because it falls on the 23rd degree of Virgo, which is a critical point. It's Saturn actually in the Bitcoin chart, right? So it kind of activates the Bitcoin chart. The eclipse activates the Bitcoin chart, right? So that's what people are worried about. Okay, now, is this warranted? Is this warranted to be worried about, right? So let's talk about that, and I'm going to give you a very, very clear answer. So people are worried. Some people are worried. I saw this guy, some other crypto astrologer, and he says he's selling everything now because he doesn't want to go into this eclipse. He thinks that this eclipse is coming, and therefore it's going to be a major sell-off after that, and it's going to be a major crash after that, right? And I've seen others as well. On X, there's a couple of crypto astrologers that are talking about that. And it seems to be a prevalent view, right? So I need to clear this view up for you. I need to clear this up once and for all, like clearly for you, right? Okay, so eclipses in astrology, in financial astrology specifically, what are they? Eclipses, they can point to momentum shifts, okay? Momentum shifts. And now there's two important, like really foundational, fundamental theories on how eclipses work in the market, okay? One of them, and I'm going to talk to you about both of them. One of them goes back to a guy called Steve Puetz. Steve Puetz. He's written a book on cycles. He's a cycle theorist, and he's done these empirical statistical studies, and he's shown how eclipses, when there are a certain condition that they fit, when there's a certain condition, right? You have within a few days of the eclipse, of the lunar eclipse, you have major crashes, right? And this actually applies to a lot of crashes that we had in history. So this applies to all major crashes. The Holland, tulip mania, the South Sea, it just goes on and on. Black Friday, right? Wall Street crash of 1929, Black Monday of 1987, right? These two major big Wall Street clashes, right? It applies to both of them, right? However, this very certain, very specific conditions that apply. It needs to be within, it's within 6 days of the eclipse, and it needs to be after a solar eclipse, which precedes the lunar eclipse, and within 6 weeks of that, because that's what creates the so-called Puetz Crash Window. So you have a solar eclipse, market, momentum shifts, and then within 6 weeks you have a lunar eclipse, and then you have these major crashes. Now, it's not applying in 2025. There's no solar eclipse before that in 2025, right? The previous solar eclipse was long, long before. It's not in a 6-week window. So this theory does not apply, right? Which a lot of people are worried about, okay, lunar eclipse and so on. No, this doesn't apply. There is no theory here. There's no, body of research in financial astrology which would point to this. Now, there's a second important approach to eclipses. Second one comes from somebody called William Delbert Gann. William Delbert Gann, W.D. Gann. Great, super genius. If you're a trader, you might be using Gann methods. This guy, he based his trading on astrology and on biblical numerology and on, a lot of kind of esoteric harmonics, sciences. He created he was a Wall Street trade. He had like a trading office, right? He was a brokerage. He had a brokerage. And he was a legendary trader as well as a legendary financial astrologer, early 20th century guy, right? And Gann, William Delbert Gann, he says that the eclipses, they point to momentum shifts. Momentum shifts. You have a momentum shift with the eclipse, okay? But he says also, it's important, it's vital to look at the aspects of the eclipse. Which aspects does the eclipse actually have if you want to know the momentum shift? What type of momentum shift is it going to be, right? You need to look at the aspects of the eclipse. So I'm going to show you this right now. I have here a chart of the eclipse, and you can see here, this is the eclipse, total lunar eclipse in March 24. And the aspects that this eclipse is making, right? The aspects, well, on the one hand, there is a Jupiter-Venus sextile, right? This is very positive, okay? And then what really matters for us is Uranus. We always look at Uranus, right? Uranus is actually super positively aspected in this eclipse. You see this? Super positively aspected in this eclipse. Uranus governs crypto and Bitcoin. And at the same time, there is a Jupiter-Venus sextile, right? So very positive. Both very, very positive. So if I apply the Gann theory, right, to the eclipse that's coming up in March, this tells me that the momentum shift that we should be expecting from this eclipse is positive, not negative, right? So this eclipse should be corresponding to a positive momentum shift. If the markets continue to trade sideways and have this crazy up and down, we don't know where it's going up, it's going down, staying in the range basically, right? As it is right now. All the breakouts are fake breakouts currently. It's always just a fake breakouts, right? And then they come down, the bears bring it down again. Then we should expect a reversal, and we should expect like a breakout, a real breakout after the eclipse, shortly following the eclipse. Right? So I'm doing the contrarian view here. I'm going against everybody else, against all the other astrologers, right? Or all the other, known crypto astrologers, financial astrologers who are talking about this, right? So that means that in the following weeks, the weeks that follow after the eclipse, towards the end of April, we should see a sustained upward movement. So we go here, right? We go to the eclipse, and then after we have here, and this checks out insofar as we have the sextile continues here. Okay, we're going to have the retrogrades from Mercury and Venus as well. Okay, that's confusion. That brings a lot of confusion into the markets. Definitely, there's going to be confusion. I'm not denying that. There's going to be confusion in the markets. But then look at this. Venus goes stationary exactly in a sextile to Uranus together with Saturn here, right? So basically, okay, like you want to say, what is this? This is in April. This is in mid-April. right, in mid-April. So at this time, I would expect a clear, powerful, right, a powerful move, right, upward. Now, there's one caveat for this. There's one caveat. The astrology, you're going to say, Dr. V, you said this already last time when we had very positive astrology for news, right? And this one is not for news, but this one is actually for implementation. In February, it was bullish for news, for enthusiasm, right? That's what I saw. That's what I told you. That's what happened, even though markets didn't go up. But it was very, very bullish for news and enthusiasm, exactly as predicted. Now, in March and April, especially in April, going end of March, April, what the charts are showing us is that there's going to be a lot of very, very impactful implementations in crypto. For instance, I'm sure, I will bet with you that Ethereum, I don't do bets, but I do bets with my money. I put my money where my mouth is, right? I invest in these things. This is not financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing in order, to have some collective intelligence on this. But in April, we are going to see, for instance, Ethereum will make some big strides with the Pectra update, with lots of new stuff happening on ETH, lots of, applications coming out. RWA should be a huge narrative. Get ready for RWA to run. It fits the archetypal image perfectly. Uranus in Taurus with the sextile to Saturn, like Saturn, it makes okay, you can implement the real world implementation of material assets with crypto. That's what that constellation reads. That looks to me like RWA, right? And RWA might run big. There might be a mini alt season around it. But again, you're going to say, okay, so in April, we have all of this massive implementation of crypto, real world implementation of crypto. What does that mean for the market, for the price? Isn't the malefic influence continuing that you spoke about before? Yes, it is still, right? Why? Because Uranus still is here on Algol. Remember what we said? Uranus all of this time is on Algol. So we have all of this malefic influence coming in. People enriching themselves, basically malicious players enriching themselves against the interests of everybody else. That's what's going to happen, big time, like on the highest level. So rug pulls, heists, there might be other things that we haven't even thought about which fit this archetypal image. And then, is that going to bring down the market? Is that going to crash the market? Probably, right? Absolutely. Why not? It could be a similar situation. However, there is only a certain time for how long you can keep the ball down. In general, these aspects that are coming up are very positive for crypto. Very, very positive. Lots of real-world implementation, right? Lots of real-world implementation. So then you're going to say, until when is this going on? Until when is this going on? Until when do we have to kind of get the best time in crypto, but then all of these malicious players are messing up the game and messing up the party for everybody, right? Until when is this going on? And we need to know, until when will Uranus be there? And it's crossing, and then in May, it's out, right? It's going out, and then it's going into summer, right? Obviously, there's going to be so much happening before that. We have to talk about it, but it's going to summer, and then finally, in July, Uranus is completely out of Taurus, and instead in August, it's going to go on the first degree of Gemini. It's going to be here on Alcyon, which is a super positive star. It's going to go into the star that stands for fame and positive impact and being well known and well seen for your positive impact. That's what this fixed star stands for. Right? And at the same time, it's going to be here in this beautiful historical talent triangle, magical triangle, which stands for magically things resolving and falling into place. Right? So that's when we're going to be out of the malefic influence, right? For a super beautiful summer. I'm going to reiterate again my thesis here that this summer will be absolutely beautiful, right? And this is a thesis. Well, we're going to see how things play out. We have to do lots more videos, obviously, and look at the details. But again, I'm going to reiterate my thesis that I presented already a year ago, that this year, the peak will be in summer. It won't be like 2017 when we went just straight up all the way till October. It won't be the double top that we had, right? The double top that we had in 2021, where we had one top in the, earlier in the year and then one top later towards the end, right? But this, to me, looks more like a peak in the middle of the year. In the middle of the year, right? So like July, August. Again, this is a thesis that's based on what I can see in the charts, and it's going to be a hard and choppy road and difficult road until then. There might be we might have a crisis, a short-term kind of crisis. We might have massive sell-offs in various other adjacent markets, in other markets, right? Inflation, we might have, but that might mean if that happens in June, it could mean that we have quantitative easing, QE setting in as well, right? Which again would potentially point to this crazy summer, right? This absolutely crazy summer. Imagine if you have like weakness in the general economy and you have QE kicking in June, and then you have July and August, you have this massive crypto season, right? This would be very, very much fitting with the charts. We have to observe all of this in detail as the story unfolds, because then we can understand better how the narrative fits together. So make sure to be part of this journey. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so yet. And also, if you want to navigate and understand how to look at your own development better, you can work with me. You can find the consultations links below. We can look at your own situation. We can look at how to optimize not just your financial strategies, which, I'm not a financial advisor, but I can tell you where your specific fortune lies. Everybody has a fortune in different things, right? And the fortune is not just measured in your bank account, it's also measured in your health, in your wisdom, in your impact that you have, right? In the general feeling of abundance that you have in your life. And in order to unlock that and optimize that, you need to be in tune with the cycles, and you need to evolve, be ready to evolve to be in tune with the cycles. And that's what I can help you do. And you can find the links in the consultations below. I have different modalities that we can work with, and we can do that together so that you can make 2025 the best year that you've had so far, right? We're still fresh. The year is still fresh. Now, make sure to comment and like this video if you haven't done so yet. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next, how you feel about this market, how you're playing this market. Your comments and insights are very, very much appreciated. I appreciate you. All the best. Be well. Be blessed.